You're listening to Erica Latrice on the air. Your one-stop shop for inspiration. Visit us online at www.ericalatrice.com. Embody the movement, empower your life. Now, here is your host, Erica.
Hello and welcome. I am Erica Latrice, and this is your one-stop shop for inspiration. Today is all about inspiration, especially if you are someone, if you have a passion project, if you are someone who has thought about even stepping out and doing like nonprofit work and creating causes around what matters to you the most. Grab a notepad. I'm telling you guys this all the time, but grab a notepad because my guest today, she is all about everything that I just said, inspiration. She is a thought leader. She is a community advocate. She is just doing so much. In fact, her passion to start a nonprofit actually opened the door for a children's book. I was going to say series, but I don't want to give anything away. So for her first children's book, so we're going to talk all about that. Welcome with me on today's show, Jahaira Lopez. How are you doing today?
Hey everyone, what's up? I'm doing great. Great. Excited for, Thanksgiving's around the corner, so getting my kind of like holiday hat on, and, so I'm excited.
Yes. Well, I'm so pumped to have you on the show today. Now, I'm definitely biased because you are one of the first passion projects with Amplify Her Publishing. This has been a very interesting road, but I could not be more excited to talk about what you're passionate about. But before we get into that, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
All right. So, as Erica mentioned, my name is Jahaira Lopez. I am the founder of Autism Sprinter, which I established back in 2014. It was established in 2014 when I was kind of going through like a mommy crisis, as I would call it. I have twins. One of my twins is on the autism spectrum, and the other one has ADHD. And so my son with autism was navigating the public school sector, and I noticed that he wasn't making any progress. So I decided to literally put my career on hold and turned one of my bedrooms into a full-blown classroom and learned how to do my own speech therapy, my own occupational therapy, my own behavior therapy, and started working with my son to help him develop his speech and his writing skills and all that great stuff. And so in the process of that, I used to record a lot of the videos and share them on my personal social media page. And one of my really, really closest childhood friends, made a comment, and he goes, "Jahaira, I need you to do something with this." And I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He goes, "I need you to start blogging about this. You need to start making videos. People, parents need to know, And I'm like, "But I don't have time. Why are we doing all this?" But then, literally, he continued to mention it. Every time I made a post and a video, he continued to, make the same comment. So I was like, okay. And then, so I decided to start with a, free platform. So I did it through, I think it was the Google platform where you can kind of, create content, and Google Blogger. So I was like, all right, cool. And then after that, another one of my closest friends that I went to college with was like, no, I'm going to buy you a domain. Think about a name for the work that you do. I'm going to buy you a domain, and then we're just going to build from there. And so literally that's how it was. I had a village of family and friends who supported my trail of parenting unique abilities. And so, thought about a name. The family and I thought about a name. We came together with Autism Sprinter. Autism Sprinter was birthed in 2014, and it was a collective effort. And so today I stand before you with being a mom who turned her online kind of like personal journey into a grassroots nonprofit where we do a lot of work around building parents as experts, and making sure that parents know their laws, policies, and procedures to make sure that they can, advocate for their children's academic needs and the growth of their children.
I absolutely love it, and you know that. So one of the things that I think is so powerful that you kind of touched on, a lot of times we feel like in order for us to make a difference or do something, I guess, there needs to be 700 supporters in the community. You need to have a board of approval, and everyone's going to champion what you're doing. And in my opinion, you are the epitome of not that, which I feel every trailblazer has to be willing to stay committed enough that they're not going to dial back and silence what they care about. And that's exactly what you've done. So I want you to share with us what has been along this journey. Have you had any moment where it was like a pinch me moment, like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how far this has grown from me using Google Blogger to now seeing the impact that Autism Sprinter is making?
I would say that I've been able to create a village of parent advocates, right? And so, my new thing that I always tell parents, you're parent advocates, so you're mixing the word parents and advocates together. So I love when I meet parents who come to me and say, oh my goodness, your workshop was great. I learned so much. I'm able to go to an IEP meeting, an individual educational plan meeting, and be able to ask for my child's need, and I know what to say. But I think that my biggest pinch me moment was literally creating a book, turning kind of my personal story and parenting twins and saying, you know what, I want my son's story to get out there, and turn it into a children's book, because there's literally not enough children's book about unique abilities. And I don't use disabilities because, for me, I'm trying to diss the label, right? Labels are not necessarily what defines of a lot of our children or youth or even adults, parents who, are parenting children with disabilities, unique abilities, no matter what age they are. And so I prefer to use the term uniquely abled and unique abilities, because every person comes into a space with a unique challenge, and sometimes those unique challenges are overlooked and often are silenced. And so I, envision things a little differently by saying people with unique challenges actually help us develop a lot of new skill sets in how to embrace different people and how to connect with different people. And so, that in that whole and that whole kind of spiel, that's where I'm like, okay, I need to create a children's book, one, to get my son's story out, but also embracing more awareness in the uniquely abled space in the literature, in children's literature. We don't have enough of that.
That is, I'm like high-fiving you right now, because this is something I feel like I actually met someone recently, and hopefully I'll be able to have him on the show, but he talked about being labeled as a child and how it took him years. He is like, at this point as an adult, like just so successful. I would definitely call him successful, but he talked about having to get rid of that label. And I know with my own experience with my son, when he was in kindergarten, his teacher tried to do the same thing and label him. And thankfully, because of people like you, I felt that same urge that you just shared, that I'm not going to allow him to be labeled, because he'll line up with it. Whatever we speak to ourselves, whatever we speak to our children, our nieces, our nephews, our spouses, our friends, eventually people will start to carry that, and they'll start to line up with the words spoken over them. I truly believe that. So hats off to you for making a stand against that. So I want to talk about the book, and this is so exciting because you're adorable. You guys will see her, well, I'll say handsome, as they're getting older. Your adorable, handsome son. How the time flies. But they're co-authors with you on this book, and I love that you brought them in, to be a part of the project. So tell us why Juju Loves Popcorn, your book that's coming out, why is it important for parents with children of all abilities?
So Juju Loves Popcorn is it's a very special project for me. And Erica, we've been working on this project for some time, and I honestly had written the book with my sons, and I probably have had it for a little over 2 years. And
Wow.
I was struggling for some time in just releasing it because I'm like, I don't know. I think this is going to be too much. And just always thinking about, is this going to work? Is this worth it? And also kind of putting myself more in a very vulnerable space where I'm continuing to speak about my journey as a mom and, speaking my story, speaking my truth and sharing my parent expertise. And so the book itself is, called Juju Loves Popcorn because my son on the autism spectrum absolutely loves popcorn. I can probably get him to do anything I need him to do if I say, hey, you can probably get some popcorn, but I'm going to need you to do this first. So, it comes with his love of popcorn and how often as a family we had to use popcorn to get him to, use his language to complete a task based on kind of like therapies that they may use in schools or in center bases or, in agencies. So that's where, that title came from. It's literally my son's love of popcorn and how that has been very instrumental in his growth and development in combating some challenges, in his, cognitive development.
That's so good. So my next question to you, what would you say to that person that has an idea? For you, your idea has been your nonprofit. You've done so many things, but the nonprofit, the book that's coming out, you've stepped out into your community with your public school system. You've just done so much. So what would you say to that person that's listening and maybe they're where you were 2 years ago thinking, I don't know, should I really put this out? Should I put the effort out? What advice would you give to them?
I would say don't second guess yourself. Because I think that a lot of us coming to this space who we have an idea and we're scared to put it out there because we're scared about, if it's going to work or not. Don't second guess yourself. Everyone has a platform. And it's all about finding your platform and how you want to share your platform. And so, I think it's investing in understanding that you are an expert yourself. You might not be, the doctor at a hospital, but you may be the doctor in your own home. You may not be the social worker for a state agency, but you're the social worker in your house. It's identifying yourself as an expert in what you can bring to the table, because I think in my heart, I truly believe everyone serves a purpose. Find your purpose and build on your purpose, because I guarantee you will always have someone that's going to resonate with your story, resonate with what you bring to the table. We have millions of people all over the world, and you could be that one person that can come out with this idea who's going to resonate with so many other people. And you never know what's going to happen. And for me, when it happened to me, it was literally, I just told myself, okay, Jahida, enough is enough. Put this out there. It needs to be out there, and let the people speak.
Oh my gosh. That's such good advice. And I could say it 1,000 times over, because I think about times where I've hesitated or where I've met people down the line and they've told me, Erica, if you wouldn't have said that to me, or if I wouldn't have gone to that event that you did, or if I wouldn't have like fill in the blank. And it's always at a time when you're like ready to quit that someone confirms to you that it's not insane. But just taking that leap, because I know for certain with Juju Loves Popcorn, the reason that I was so excited to be able for Amplify her to be a part of this project with you was because I know how it feels to be that parent that's trying to find resources for your child and trying to advocate for your child and coming up empty-handed or feeling like, you know, you're on your own, and just seeing what you have done, oh my gosh, in your community it's encouraging. So, so for those who are listening,
and it's me, even for when I met you were literally like that bridge for me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like I need to do this. Like I love what she's saying. It's resonating with me. And a lot of me moving forward with this book had a lot to do with your messaging and your empowerment of women in this space to, you know, to live their dreams and kind of come out of this box. Was literally because of you. So I'm super thankful for Amplify Her, for being so instrumental in this project, because I don't think it would have never got done, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. See the encouragement. But I'm so excited. And I know that this is just the beginning, you all, because who you are listening to today, you need to write her name down. Because this is literally just the beginning in the children's book sector, I know. So for those who are listening that want to get connected with you, they want to support what you're doing, they want to be a part of it, what's the best way that they can get connected with you?
So the best way to get connected with me is if you're interested in learning more about Autism Sprinter, you can definitely follow us, our social media. Follow us at Autism Sprinter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're still trying to work out this whole Snapchat stuff. I mean, we love it just for the filters. You know, the filters is our thing. But if you also want to follow me in my personal space and want to learn about other work that I've done outside of the nonprofit, you can follow me at I am a Momvocate on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and you can also visit our website at www.autismsprinter.org and www.jahidalopez.com. That's where you can find us. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Oh my God, I'm over here beaming. Ladies who are listening, even if there are some gents, this is time to step out, and you've heard Jahida's story. You know that taking that initial leap literally could change the lives of so many people around you in your community, in your city, in your state, in your country, just by you taking that leap. So I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. I know that it's going to make an impact for those hearing your story. And for those of you who are listening, I encourage you to take an action today. Take one step towards your goal, because you never know who you're going to impact. And if this message was encouraging to you, make sure that you share it, tag it, share it with the Trailblazer. You can stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers. And as I always tell you guys, go out and make today amazing, because it is absolutely a choice.
For more inspiration, visit us online at ericalatrice.com.